Today's guest brings a rare mix of business growth, people leadership, and operational experience built over 35 plus years across multiple industries. From starting out in sales and marketing to leading HR, talent, training, and business transformation functions. He has consistently worked at the intersection of people and performance. He has played a key role in scaling startups, building teams from scratch, managing international operations across India, Kenya, and the UAE, and driving both workforce and revenue growth in high-pressure environments like BPOs and fast-growing organizations. Known for combining business thinking with human-centered leadership, he has also been recognized among the top 100 emerging HR leaders and received the HR Visionary Speaker Award. Please join me in welcoming Biswajyoti Panda. Thank you, sir, for joining us today and sparing your valuable time for this podcast series of us.
My pleasure today, Roshan, being here.
Thank you. Great. So been in the industry for almost more than 3.5 decades.
Yeah.
Really long time. Been there, done that. So I'm glad we have you today, and I'm sure a lot of insights are going to come out from our conversation today, right? So before we get into the rut of things, a little about your professional journey. How did your professional journey evolve, over these years? And were there any moments where a completely unexpected transition ended up shaping your career in a major way?
Yeah, see, I began my career way back in 1990.
Oh, okay.
And it started off as a sales professional, basically.
Right.
And this was with a company called India Gypsum, which was a part of the CK Birla Group.
Okay.
And later on, it was taken over by Saint-Gobain.
Right.
So, it was a time when we did not have the technological edge.
Correct.
No mobile phones.
Barely computers also.
Yeah, barely. And we used to use computers also. We had one system for the entire sales team where all of us used to come in, and so reports used to be manual reports.
Right.
At the end of the day, you visit your clients and come back, and there are printed reports which you fill in with your pen and sign it and give it to your boss, and he goes through it, asks you 10 questions. So it was a completely different kind of an experience which we were having that time.
Absolutely.
And it was purely dependent on how you spoke,
right,
how you build up a rapport with your clients, and this was a building material industry. They were basically manufacturing gypsum board, which was used for ceilings and false ceilings and partitions.
Correct.
So our job was to connect with architects and interior designers and get the product specified in the projects which they were working on.
Right.
So, and that was a different thing. From there, I shifted on to a company called Bhor Industries, which were into flooring tiles.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that company is no more in existence now.
Right.
And from the building industry, then I took a jump to the consumer electronic industry, and I was a part of Sony India when they launched here.
Okay.
So it started off with Sony Audios. So I was looking after the distribution channel for Delhi, Punjab and Haryana.
Okay. The Walkmans and the stereo sound systems.
Yeah, the Walkman stereo systems, that's what. And then 3 years later down the line, the first Sony television was introduced in India. That was when Sony India started manufacturing the plant. That's the thing. Earlier they had a license with a company called Olympia Electronics, who was having the service as well as the marketing and manufacturing license for Sony.
Right.
So it was through Olympia Electronics that all of us were doing the Sony business.
Interesting.
And from there, the most interesting part, like you said, a transition which took place. One of the biggest transitions was when from Sony I went to Akai.
Right.
So Akai was a big boom, which was
absolutely
buy a 29-inch television, get a 21-inch free. So
right.
And then the company ran into certain legal issues. The company the business got closed down. That is when I moved into a company which was absolutely not known in the market then. Okay. Today it's a big name. It was Luminous Inverters.
Okay.
So when I joined Luminous, the sales team was of 2 people. They had 4 distributors in Delhi.
Right.
And the entire market was open.
Right.
So I still have a lot of respect, and I still owe a lot of my mentoring, which was done by the then managing director and CEO of Luminous, Mr. Rakesh Malhotra.
Right.
So learned a lot from him, and so he took me in. He said, "Aap Akai mein the, will you come and join me?" I said, "Why not?" He said, "Here, I have nothing right now,
Right.
and I want somebody who can come in and build the company." So that's when I got in there. So this was in 1998 when we had 2 salespeople and 4 distributors. I was given the charge of expanding the market, setting it up.
Right.
We gradually moved and had covered North India. In 2000, I had set up entire Western India, entire South India, and North was of course there. And we were about to enter East.
Right.
So from managing a workforce of 2 sales executives and 4 distributors in 1998,
Right.
in 2000 I was managing 200 salespeople
Wow.
and 2000 distributors across 3 regions of the country.
Wow, that's commendable.
And we also, in the inverter industry, Luminous was the first company to go into full page ads on Times of India. And we launched television with Amrish Puri as our first brand ambassador.
Wow.
Coming down the line, in 2008, Rakeshji sold off the company to Schneider Electric,
Right.
migrated to Singapore, and now he's an angel investor there.
Oh, interesting.
So this company actually taught me a lot of things, and in during this I had taken different transitions. First 2 years I was spreading up the market.
Right.
Once the market was done, then I spent 1 year heading the branding and advertising.
Right.
So it was collaborating with the companies, working out these contexts and getting into the brand ambassadorship of connecting with the celebrities through
Right.
the agencies, and that was an interesting work which I did. Then for the next 1 year to 2 years, I was heading All India Service and Customer Care.
Right.
So, and it was a technical service which was for an inverter repair.
Absolutely.
So the service, the national service manager was reporting on to me, although I was a non-technical person, and all the customer escalations were coming into me.
Okay.
We were at that point of time the only inverter company who had a dedicated call center, which we had then outsourced to RPG.
Okay. RPG,
Yeah.
right.
So we had outsourced to RPGs. We had a dedicated contact center which was running 24/7 to take in customer complaints, and we had automated it. So that time we didn't have mobile phones; we had pagers.
Right.
So RPG, through the contact center, what we did was the pagers. The moment a complaint comes in, there was a connectivity and automation which was done to the service engineers who were designated in different areas. For example, if I'm sitting in Chembur,
Right.
the complaint has come from Chembur, and Biswa is the technician who's supposed to cater to Chembur area.
Right.
The moment the customer complaint comes in, Biswa will get a message on his pager that this is the customer, this is the complaint, please go and attend to it. And after attending to the complaint, he has to give a feedback that complaint attended.
Okay.
And we had the system that even within 1 hour, if the technician's reply is not coming that the service has been attended, automatically an escalation message goes to his boss, to the service manager.
Okay.
And if the service manager does not receive does not come back and give a feedback in the next 1 hour,
Right.
a message comes to me
Okay.
that this has not been attended. If I don't do it in the next 1 hour, it goes to the MD.
Oh, wow.
So that
Lot of
time,
accountability.
the MD was accountable for the customer's set being attended to or not.
Wow.
That was the kind of accountability we had built in that organization. That's how we learned, and like I said, this transition has worked a lot for me. Then I went through different organizations, and in 2000, if you see in 2013
Right.
was a point when I saw that I've been doing a lot of sales.
Right.
And what exactly have I been doing? I have been doing people management. So that is the time when I made a shift and moved to the staffing industry.
Interesting.
And I started handling client acquisition as well as operations for a staffing company which was into India and US staffing.
Okay.
That is where my HR journey started.
Right.
It was practically primarily from staffing and recruitment. That is where I got into the HR this thing.
Right.
And In that organization, since it was not a very big organization, I was also asked to handle the internal HR. So the HR policies, framing the policies, the employee policies, the leave policies, everything. It started off from there, and I, along with because the founder of that organization was somebody who was a ex-general manager HR with Wipro. So he was a hardcore HR guy. So he knew both of us used to sit together, we framed all the policies, run the company, and then from there I moved to the security and services, security and facility industry.
Okay.
Where again, I got the role of both. It was partly new client acquisition, majorly handling the recruitment and the HR part.
Right.
2019, when COVID came, and when we had the lockdowns coming in 2019 or 20, that was the time when I realized that client acquisitions don't work now. There was no one who was wanting to give you business during that time because there was no business happening.
Absolutely.
And that is when I actually wanted to make a transition. So 2020 is when after the COVID initial lockdown and got over and people started getting into office, was when I got in touch with a company called Altruist Technologies, which was a BPO.
Right.
The opening was purely for an HR position.
Okay.
It was recruitment and it was for an HR site head for their Pune site.
Right.
So when I went and got interviewed, the first round happened with the CHRO, and she went through my entire journey and she felt that I could be doing it.
Right.
My final round was with the CEO.
Right.
And when I went to her, she asked me that you do not have a hardcore HR experience. Why do you think we should hire you? My reply was a one-sentence simple answer, which I said, ma'am, till now, I have been handling business for people. Now I'm going to handle people for business. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be rocket science for me.
Right.
And it will be better for me since I have handled business. I would understand the nuances of business in a better way.
Right.
And I would exactly know what the business wants from HR, which none of your hardcore HR people will be able to give you. It was a nod. I started from the next day, and it was during this my journey with Altruist that I had a 4-month stint when I set up and established a global contact center in Sharjah.
Okay.
So it was building from the scratch. This was a very important transition for me because I had to hire 300 people, and these 300 people had to come from India, Kenya, Nigeria, Russia, China, and Arab, and UAE.
It's huge.
And all of them would be based in Sharjah.
Okay.
Because this was a global company, which was a foreign exchange trading company based in Cyprus.
Okay.
And they wanted to set up their global contact center here for all their clients across the globe. So they wanted different language speaking people. So I hired people from Egypt who were flown down to Sharjah. I hired people from India who were Indians who were based in Dubai, Indians who were based in India out of different places who had flown down there, along with the visas and everything being done from there through a external person. I had people from Russia who had flown into UAE, from China who had flown into UAE, from Philippines who had flown into UAE, and even I had people who had. We had one or two Japanese people. We had people flown in from Iran, from different places. So around Nigeria, Kenya. So there were around 8-9 countries from which we had selected people. It used to be virtual interviews. People get selected. The visas are done. They are flown down here. And the other interesting part was that I had to set up, as per the company policy of our client, I had to set up a housing arrangements for them. So an entire housing complex was taken. Transportation was arranged. When these people came in, they were picked up from the airport, taken to the residences, make them settle there. So it was a completely different experience, starting from scratch and doing it and establishing and working with people from different nationalities, from different religions. So different regions who come in, and they come in with different ideas. Their expectations are different. Next assignment which I took up here in this organization was a 8-month stint in Kenya, Nairobi, where Altruist had got the contract for running the contact center for Airtel Kenya.
Right. Right.
So that was again setting up the center. And here my role became quite changed, because apart from setting up the contact center and hiring people, I was also recruited as the site head. So I had to run the operations.
Wow, that's big responsibility.
That's big responsibility. So the entire site was under me.
Right.
So it is starting from the productivity to the to maintaining the SLAs and TATs and everything. Everything was managed by me,
Right.
and that actually brought me to a much better position to handle, because handling people is not a problem, but I learned a lot of things from there. So this is, and after that my journey continued in the BPO segment mostly.
Right.
In working with companies like Athena BPO, then BPO Convergence, and also with the Cogent and different organizations now.
Okay.
And the latest assignment was, I have been now consulting a startup BPO, which is and setting up their policies and procedures and functions. That's how my journey has been. So now looking ahead, it's not an end till now. I am looking ahead to do lot more of work.
Absolutely.
But yes, I have always been a people-centric person. That's what has been taken me here.
True, and I think a very illustrious career, very different challenges, and a business person who's come into HR. It's a very rare combination that we get to come across people. So, when you actually came into HR was very different
Yes.
to what it is now. What do you think has changed the most in how companies are treating learning and development then and now? What has been the shift?
Actually, when you see, if I go back to my early days when I entered HR, like say 2013, 2012, or even when I was in business, there was always an HR and L&D in every organization.
Yes.
Way back, if I look, earlier L&D meant training, and training meant process training.
Okay.
It was also defined to process training.
Correct. That is the primary.
And supposing I am a person who's getting into HR, I am into HR BP. उस टाइम पे तो HR BP नहीं था,
HR था.
HR ही था.
Correct.
And HR was supposed to do employee grievances, HR was supposed to do recruitment, HR was supposed to do comp and ben.
Right.
Everything HR will do. There was no bifurcation of the departments. So मुझे training मिलेगा तो I'll get my training on how to prepare a payroll, I'll get my training on how to address an employee grievance, I will get to train on what should I see while hiring a person.
Right.
It was restricted to that, nothing beyond that.
Right.
But one thing I noticed that time, in Luminous especially, it was way back in 1998 that the management had an open option that a person can move from HR to finance, marketing to HR, HR to marketing to finance based on your skill sets. अगर मैं यहाँ fail हो रहा हूँ, supposing this person who was not able to meet his targets, he was not a good salesperson, normally at that time or even this time, they would be asked to go.
Right.
But my management never asked me to let them go. When I used to, in the reviews, when I say X and X person, uska review ho raha hai, last 6 months, 8 months, he's not been able to perform. He's not been able to meet his targets.
Right.
So what should we do? Should I ask him to go? My MD used to say no. वो देखो कहीं और fit हो सकता है क्या? Can we fit him somewhere else? What is his skill set? I tell him, sir, I find him that he's got a very good rapport with the employees. He has 2 guys under him. He manages them very well. They're respecting too much. Put him in HR.
Right.
Let's see how he does that.
Interesting.
Somebody else, I tell him that his calculation skills are very good. Finance mein dal do. Let's see if he can perform there.
Okay.
Why should we take out a person?
Correct.
Somebody who's able to manage things properly, is a good organizer. Let's try put him in an admin.
Right.
And make him do small jobs there. So this was happening there. But yes, coming back to your question, the difference there was, it was effectively training to what is required. Today, when we come to learning and development, one major shift which I have seen now is, which most of the companies are doing today, L&D is not restricted to training. It is now primarily upskilling and reskilling, which is what happened in L&D now. But still today, I would say that there are a lot of things which need to improve in L&D, because for organizations, they are still not looking at actually seeing what skill sets are required for the people, and actually seeing that who can be developed.
Right. True, that's a very thin line
Yeah.
of differentiation there. Interesting. Now, you've also built teams from scratch and managed large operations. What's the one thing about people that experience teaches you, but no corporate training ever can?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. One thing which I've always evolved throughout the years and what I've seen managing people, because like I said, I've managed as big as 200, 250 people teams. What I've always seen is that be it 2000, be it 1990, 1980 or be it 2026, the basic thing which people want, one, you trust them, you allow them to grow, and you allow them to develop. That is something, and trust is something which no corporate training can teach you. Be it trust, be it letting them grow. So that is what I've seen, that is what has evolved. And one thing which I'm mainly seeing is that any successful leader today, if you need to succeed in having this success in your team, you need to develop that thought in them that this person can make me grow. Right. You need to be their mentor. You have, and the day you start being their boss, you start losing them. So you need to be a true leader and a mentor for them. You need to take them out, and you need to be in a situation. I have seen that in my case also. There have been several instances where my team members have come back to me even with their personal problems. Sir, mere ghar pe ye hoy, can you tell me how can I get out of it?
Right.
How can you help me out in this? It's not that they want a direct financial help from you or something. They want a suggestion.
Right, guidance.
A guidance that how can I get out of this situation?
Right. Interesting. Well, thank you, sir. Very illustrious career that you shared with us. We are grateful, you shared your story with us, and I'm sure people will learn from that story as well. And thank you for sharing your really great insights. Thank you.